What's up, everybody? Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live from Green Bay on Cheesehead TV. We're devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Hello, everybody. How are you doing in the old comments section today? People say we're ready for the Deshaun Kaiser revenge tour. Starts tomorrow night, baby. I mean, I don't know about all that, but good chance that Aaron Rodgers will not play. That's right. We got all this talk about a new system, a new scheme. Aaron Rodgers pouting at his locker yesterday because they didn't run any of the new system or scheme against the Texans. Get a chance to get him out there, and it sounds like they're going to sit him. Aaron Rodgers most likely will not play tomorrow night in this building against the Houston Texans in the preseason debut for the Green Bay Packers in 2019. Can't say I'm really surprised. Well, maybe a little disappointed, but not really surprised. Andy, well, you don't need to miss me. I mean, I will not be in Green Bay, but Packers Daily will continue. We'll be right back at it Monday, so don't you worry about it. Doing our thing. Hello, Chris. I am here. Good to see you, buddy. How does Adrian Amos look? Steady, and definitely an upgrade from what they've had on the back end for a many number of years. He had a really nice interception of Deshaun Watson on day one of their joint practices in the end zone. But overall, assignment sure, where he's supposed to be, coverage is good. He did get beat by a tight end on an out route yesterday, but that is going to happen on occasion. But for the most part, he has been a solid addition and an easy upgrade from what they've had. Will we see the Phillies special in Green Bay? Rodgers has skills catching. He does. If you saw him yesterday on the sideline, you saw those one-handed catches. Yeah, it's a possibility. We'll see. Obviously, they're not going to show us any of that, although we did see one trick play that I'm not allowed to talk about. But for the most part, they've kept things under wrap. But, maybe during the week they see something on tape. They think there's a defense that would be especially susceptible to something like that. It'd be surprising to see it put in. How prepared do you think the Packers' offense is with the time taken in training camp? Is the offense fully installed? It's not fully installed. In fact, we talked with LaFleur about that after practice yesterday. They still have yet to install their they've done 2-minute, but they haven't done strict no huddle yet. And Rodgers indicated that he didn't even know when they were going to get to that. You have to suspect that happens next week. But as far as the entire install of the offense, yes, no, not yet. It has not happened. Need to call Marshall Newhouse. Hey, Marshall has a really good video up with Yahoo Finance today that I highly recommend everyone check out. Whatever you think of his play on the football field, he makes some really excellent points about NFL players and the need for financial literacy. And something that doesn't get talked about a lot. It was back in the headlines recently because of a really bad situation with Adrian Peterson that he's having to deal with financially. It's really smart stuff from Newhouse. I highly recommend everyone check that out. I think even though he's had a great camp, Trevor Davis is expendable if we keep Corey Grant because both guys return punts and kicks. That's all part of the juggling process, right? And now that he is hurt yet again, there's certainly that possibility that Grant gets kept over him. And that's why when people talk about, are they going to keep 7 wide receivers, it's so hard to say just in a vacuum what the numbers will be if you don't look at all the other positions and think of the roster makeup throughout the 53. Because if they decide to keep, say, Corey Grant because of his return ability, yes, that makes it a lot easier to move on from Trevor Davis. Now, if they decide they can live without Corey Grant, then they kind of have to keep Trevor Davis. So, I mean, that's obviously a very simplistic version of the kind of decision-making that goes on, but those are all pieces of the puzzle that have to be taken into account when they're putting things together. Super Chat, baby! What's up, Tony Tiger? Thanks for the Super Chat, and thanks for your support of Cheesehead TV. It's greatly appreciated. Alex Lights, time to step up. Sosa, undoubtedly so. For anybody who missed the headline late in the day yesterday, the Packers have released Jason Spriggs, former second-round pick, who, yes, the Packers did trade up for the rights to acquire him. You cannot call his time in Green Bay anything else other than a disappointment. Given the draft pedigree, the idea that he was going to come in and be a pretty significant contributor to the offensive line, and he really was anything but. You guys know, I've talked about it for a long time. If the world of the NFL revolved around first and second down, Jason Spriggs would be a serviceable tackle. Unfortunately, the very most important part of his job comes on third down, and that's whenever he was at his worst. So they waived him injured, so he will undoubtedly – so that means he has an injury settlement. So as soon as he's healed up, he can go sign with another team. I actually think that'll probably happen. But, yeah, it brings to close a greatly disappointing chapter in the TED Draft Chronicles. But to your original point, Sosa, yeah, Alex Light, you have to think now. I still think Billy Turner is probably your leader in the clubhouse to kick out if there was an injury at tackle. But Alex certainly will continue to get all the reps he's already been taking, but they're going to take on much more significance now because you have to think he is your six swing tackle guy, six-man, swing tackle. So we'll see. As far as who is going to be your player to watch tomorrow night, I'm going to be watching the running backs. You look at the running back depth chart is perilously thin. After Tra Carson went out with the injury the other day, now we've got basically three of their top backs are out. You're going to be seeing a lot of Dexter Williams, a lot of Danny Vitale. Even though he's a fullback, he's going to get a lot of action in one-back sets. They got another couple of guys. They just picked someone up off waivers from the Colts. You're going to expect to see a lot of those guys in the second half. But Dexter Williams, this is a big-time moment for him. If he can come in and be productive in the preseason and make things hard for Brian Gutekunst and the personnel people, obviously it's a good problem to have, but he's going to get his chance to shine. John, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Aaron from West Palm Beach. I've noticed a similarity between McCray and Barclay from a few years back. As far as utility linemen, who was better and why? I actually prefer, out of those two, I would take McCray. I think his play is just a little bit above what Barclay used to give. Now, that's not to say he's a Pro Bowler or anything like that. He certainly has his limitations. I much prefer him inside than as a tackle, and he certainly had his problems there last year. But they have used him everywhere. And Aaron Rodgers highlighted this at his locker yesterday. McCray has literally played all 5 spots along the offensive line for them. And his versatility and his ability to just jump in and do what is asked, no matter what or where, it's greatly appreciated, I know, by the quarterback at least. When LaFleur is talking about the lack of urgency coming out of the huddle, is that a shot at Rodgers? I don't think so. I know it can be perceived as that because the quarterback is in charge of the tempo pretty much when you're on the field. I do think he's talking, though, about the entire squad, about guys having to be crisp and out of the huddle and up to the line and quick. And maybe they just don't get it yet. Maybe they just need to see some more tape of, the Rams breaking the huddle or the Patriots breaking the huddle, because those guys, when they are running that offense, they are at lightning speed. Maybe they need to see that. And, speaking of Matt LaFleur, it is interesting. The big headline coming out of yesterday is kind of the disconnect between LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers when it comes to the usefulness of joint practices. And look, it's fine that they disagree. It is kind of funny how stark the contrast is, especially when we went literally from Matt LaFleur's press conference saying, yeah, I loved it, want to do it again, want to do it twice next year, to we walk into the locker room 5 minutes later, Aaron Rodgers is saying, I hope they don't do it again for another 14 years. It's clear where they both stand. But, as far as being a new head coach and trying to set a new standard and trying to change a culture, I think it's great that LaFleur is out there going, yeah, that's great. Aaron Rodgers is allowed to have his opinion, but it's Matt LaFleur's team, and he's going to be here, and he wants to be here for the long haul. He's trying to set the franchise, set his program the way he wants it. Maybe the quarterback isn't happy about it, but guess what? If they win and play well and LaFleur gets an extension, he could possibly be around after Aaron Rodgers is gone and he's working with a new quarterback. So he wants to set his program, and I give him major props for that. Who has been the biggest surprise from the offense in training camp thus far? Danny Vitale. It's got to be. I didn't expect anything that we've seen. And Aaron Rodgers said as much yesterday. He said it's kind of been shocking to everybody, his athleticism. You see he's a big, strong guy. He can't move. You knew he could run, but just his ability off the line, getting off press even at points, and working all across the formation, and then just the athleticism, getting downfield, making contested catches. His catching ability has been incredible. I don't think there's any question. And there may be some other guys who have turned heads, but Danny Vitale has been an absolute revelation and a shock. I got all sorts of people talking to me in my head here. Zachary Ayers. Nags, what's the update on Kevin King? Thank you so much for the super chat, Zachary. No update on Kevin King, other than both Gutekunst and LaFleur indicated that it is not, the hamstring that he's dealing with is not a long-term concern. Now, of course, we don't know which hamstring it is. They have indicated it is not related to last year's injury, but that doesn't mean it's not the same hamstring. We will have to wait and see. Obviously, he won't play tomorrow night. I would think they'll probably hold him out another week. But both guys saying that it is there are no long-term concerns here. So we'll see how much time he misses here in training camp. Do you see a drastic improvement in run defense compared to last year? I don't know about drastic, but I do think it will improve. Some of that is going to be down to health, though. If they go through another, raft of injuries like they did at the end of the season last year, then things could fall apart. That's what tends to happen in the NFL. You can get a talent drain due to injuries, and that's bound to happen. But if they stay relatively healthy, and of course you can't stay completely healthy in the NFL, but if they stay relatively healthy up front, I think they will improve, and I think they'll be one of the better run-stuffing units in the league. Thank you, Cheesehead TV, for the updates. Thank you for checking it out. Can I get Texans tickets from Ticket King? Mike, I don't know about that. I know you can get Texans tickets for tomorrow night's game from Ticket King. You know what? If you're looking for tickets for tomorrow night's game, or hell, any Green Bay Packers game, preseason, postseason if they're lucky enough to get there, or regular season, both home and away, you should check out cheeseheadtv.com and find the link to Ticket King. Physically, they're right across from Lambeau Field, but if you're not in Green Bay, you go to cheeseheadtv.com, click on Ticket King, and they have all your Packers tickets needs taken care of. And hey, for a very limited time, until I believe midnight on Saturday, if you use the code PACK2019, that's PACK2019, you can get 10% off your order. So hurry up and get your tickets at cheeseheadtv.com at Ticket King. Will McCray and Vitale both being so versatile, does either one of them get any snaps as a backup QB? Woo! Why not? Let's do it, right? Can't be any worse. Better chance of making the roster, Jamal Moore or Josh Jones? Wow, I think they're both going to make the roster, but if I had to guess, I'll go Josh Jones, probably. Is Lane Taylor holding down the second guard spot 100%? Obviously we're not privy to the coaches' tape, what they're saying internally, so it's hard to say 100%, but he took all the reps there yesterday after, not splitting, but on Sunday, before the Texans came to town. He did give way to Elton Jenkins for a spell, but then he was back with the first unit Monday and Tuesday. So I think they want to see what Jenkins can do, but they've got to get Lane ready for the season. I do think it's Lane's job for now, and if he plays well and plays at a high level, as he did a couple years ago, then I think he'll keep it. But if his play starts to slip, I don't think they'll hesitate to see what Jenkins has. Did you read Florio's last article about Rodgers and LaFleur? How a man can write so much shit. It's Mike Florio. He's trying to get a rise out of you, and obviously it worked. Does Rodgers' throwing mechanics look better than last year? It's hard to say. I mean, so much of that is like kind of him just winging it around and trying things out in training camp. It's hard to say how much he's really doing. Hey, CAINK96. Sorry, I'm not quite sure of the pronunciation there. Thank you for the super chat. Nags, I missed any comment on Spriggs. What's up? Yeah, we did talk about it a little bit ago, but Spriggs was dealing with a trapezius injury, and they waived him injured, which means they gave him an injury settlement, but it was time to move on. I think once they saw that they could somewhat count on Alex Light to give them at least what Spriggs gave them, probably more, they figured the time for the experiment was up. And he was... you can't say anything else than his time in Green Bay was a disappointment. But it was time to move on, and they made the move. How has Kaiser looked? Whew, Joel, not great. Here's the thing. I hear a lot about Kaiser being in his fourth system in 4 years, and that's true. No doubt about it. That plays into it somewhat. But at some point, an out route is an out route. A dig is a dig. A crosser is a crosser, and you are an NFL quarterback, and you are expected to hit those throws. And he consistently is inconsistent. He had one of the most brutal interceptions of camp yesterday, where he tried to hit somebody down the seam, and the ball just died on him, most likely due to bad mechanics, and the linebacker had an easy interception. It's throws like that that make you scratch your head. Or you saw the pick six in Family Night, where the throw is well behind the intended receiver, easy pickings for the defensive back. I mean, again, that's just an out route. That's not scheme. That's not his head swimming. Just make the throw. And he is entirely too scattershot to be counted on in the NFL. Yet the Packers seem to be heading into 2019 with him as their backup, which means, of course, if Aaron gets hurt again, you can punt on the season. I like our depth on the trenches. Could be key down the road if we were making a Super Bowl run. Martin, a Super Bowl run. Let's hold up and let's hope for a playoff run. How about that? How about we start there? But I agree with your overall point. There is a little bit more depth along both lines this year, and that is certainly a cause for celebration. Maybe not maybe not a full-blown celebration, but certainly something to be excited about. Whoa, hey. Smash that like button, Packer Nation. Abraham, you bring up a really good point. May I address the camera here? People, we're coming up here on like a month until the season starts, and we're still not at 10,000 subscribers, and that is completely unacceptable. We need Cheesehead TV to be at 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before the start of the season. Now, listen, I'll take 20,000. That's where we probably should be. But just get us, tell your friends, tell your families. Hell, open up fake accounts if you need to. But just smash that subscribe button. Tell your friends, hit the subscribe button. You guys all have friends who are Packers fans who enjoy the YouTubes. Tell them, Cheesehead TV on YouTube. Best thing about YouTube in the Packers. Obviously, we're here live from Green Bay giving you daily updates. We chat Packers each and every day. And look, some people have their YouTube channels and then they take breaks. They go across an ocean and leave you for weeks on end without content. Not Cheesehead TV. No. No, my friends. 365 days a year. Every single year. That's what we do. We've been doing it for over 10 years. We are here for you, devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Hit the subscribe button. That's all I ask. It's a simple ask. All right. I'm going to have to jump. Thank you so much for all the questions. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to yours, but like I said, please subscribe on YouTube. And, you know, if you're one of those Facebook people, like the page. Share it with your family. Say, hey, Dad, check out these guys. They're devoted to us, Green Bay Packers fans, worldwide. And then, you know, obviously, if you do enjoy what we do, and in all seriousness, this is our last stream here in Green Bay before we pack up after the game and head back to New York. It's been a lot of fun, but a lot goes on in these streams that you guys aren't privy to. There is a team working right now as we speak in our master control room in New York City cutting up this show. This doesn't pay for itself. Yes, we get some ad revenue from the website, etc., but Lord knows it doesn't cover everything we do. If you like what we do here at Cheesehead TV, please, I'm asking politely, pitch in. Pitch in at our Patreon page, patreon.com/CheeseheadTV. $5 a month is all we ask, and it literally does support every single thing we do. I can't thank you guys enough for following along here from training camp. I'll be back doing daily next week, and then Packer Transplants will make its return in a couple weeks, I believe on the 24th. And then, hey, tonight, if you are in Green Bay, Corey and I are going to do an old-school tweet-up at Stadium View, 7 o'clock Central. You know, no big rigmarole, no circus, just two guys chilling, drinking beers, talking Packers. So if you're in the area, you want to hang out, drink some brew, talk some Packers, we'll be there. 7 o'clock, Stadium View. Hope to see you there. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.